back to my channel. So after last week's episode, season 4 episode 11 of How to Get Away with Murder, we would think that perhaps this episode 12 would be more focused on Laurel's story and what Laurel's mother and father have been doing behind her back, but it turns out to be just a little bit of everything. We got a little bit of Isaac, a little bit of Nate, a little bit of Bonnie, a little bit of the Laurel story, even a little bit of Oliver and Connor. But let's just deal with the Laurel situation first, because that's way easier to talk about. So Laurel gets to see her baby finally, and she doesn't want to leave. And that's basically it. Other than the part where now we have the question that Frank has. How did she know Kristoff? How did Laurel's mother know Kristoff, aka Wes? That's still unanswered, and I feel like we're probably not gonna get the full answer for that until next season. I don't know, maybe they're setting up so that we'll see that, because it seems like we're getting ready to do the crossover, and that's what this episode was, to get certain things out of the way so we can move on to the class action lawsuit that's gonna lead to the crossover between Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. And the class action lawsuit is they lost, basically. They lost, but maybe it does have another possibility of going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, as they try to make it seem. Because Michaela had an idea that maybe Annalise can get some help from people who are very influential and very well connected. And we get a snippet at the end of Annalise walking into a lecture that Olivia Pope is teaching. So we shall see. I don't know if we can trust Isaac, because he tells one story, and then when you push further, or at least when Annalise pushed further, he gave her another story. And then she's realizing, like, she can't trust him, and then he blows up on her. Where did that come from? I feel like him blowing up on her because she realized that he was using again is just a way of him. Yeah, he's obviously someone who's high in the moment, but then it seems like maybe he's been lying about everything, and it's not just the fact that he covered up his daughter's suicide, or what could have been a suicide. And my question is, if Stella wasn't trying to commit suicide, why exactly did she take all those pills? Because it would strike anyone as weird that she never had a drug history. The only thing she've heard about these stuff is the drugs that her father used to be on, and she've heard him told stories about his drunky days. So did she take them as a way to keep them away from him? Because she could have just flushed them. Like, I'm still not understanding the reason why Stella might have taken those pills, unless she actually wanted to take them. And why so much? Maybe she actually did want to commit suicide, or maybe there is more to the story that Isaac isn't telling us, because Isaac has become a sort of unreliable character. I thought for sure when Isaac came clean, everything, he would be done with the drugs, and it would be a moment of him moving on after he spoke to Annalise about what really happened. when he saw Stella's body. But now it just seems like he's never stopped completely. That means that he has his tricks of how to beat the system and come up clean. Because if he's been doing that drug for so long and been able to keep the job that he has, that would mean that he's been hiding. He's been like, I don't know what to believe when it comes to Isaac. And everything was going nice. They were having pancakes, and Annalise was kind of liking him. And then she realized, no, there's something wrong with him. There's definitely more to the story than he's letting on. And you can't trust him. And that's where she had to call him out. She had to be like, no, this is bullshit. Also, another thing that was exciting about this episode was the Keating 5. Yes, the Keating 5. They are now the Keating 5 again. Because now Oliver is in the mix. And Laurel is with them just as well. So it seems like they're moving on a little bit. They're not so focused on Laurel's baby. They're talking about the class action lawsuit. So while they're working on it, it reminded me of the first episode when they're competing and they're trying to get that trophy, and it's just beautiful to see them back again. Asher is acting like a clown, making snickerdoodles and brownies and all of that stuff. And I guess it's where they're comfortable. They're comfortable being in the court or thinking about cases, to the point where it's like the most normal we've seen Connor throughout this whole season. Like, Connor is so in it. He wants to go back to school, and he's talking about getting married to Oliver. Definitely want to see where that's going, because we already know that his father does not approve of Oliver. When really, if anyone's supposed to worry about who to be approved of, it should be Oliver's parents not wanting him to get with Connor, because Connor have done some stuff in his life. And now Oliver have done some stuff too, so I guess they're both corrupted in some way or another. But I'm more worried about Bonnie, because she put her life on the line for Isaac. And when you take everything into account, Isaac wasn't worth it. Like, he wasn't worth her walking into the office, to the DA's office, and basically putting her whole life up, saying that, listen, I have all of our conversations recorded, so if you try anything, if you even kill me, this is all gonna be released. And now she's literally watching her back every turn she makes. She has a gun in her house. All of that stuff because they were trying to not get Stella's case reopened. And then you find out that, hey, Isaac is kind of a shady person, and maybe he's not worth losing your life over his innocence or whatever, or over trying to prove his innocence, because he's not that innocent as he claims to be. But we will see. We will see what this whole How to Get Away with Murder scandal crossover takes us, because hopefully, which I'm kind of sure that the case is actually going to trial if Olivia is on the legal team with Annalise. I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. Like, they're setting this up for a reason. It's not gonna be like, oh, they get to meet and then nothing happens. No, there must be more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe.